I think it's safe to assume this is going to be the final battle of this arc, of the whole stuff with Makima. We had some really big, revelations with Denji, and actually signs of a power-up as well, at least an upgrade in his abilities. But in the last chapter, we had, I think, a really, really needed kind of just re-grasp on everything right now. Just a massive head check on Denji, because even if Denji hasn't been, definitely hasn't been like feeling the best lately, we see now that he clearly appreciates like where his accomplishments have gotten him. And it's not in the same way of like, I've done good. It's just like, oh, the things I've done have led to my popularity, have led to the life that he's wanted. Even if it's been damaged, it's still something that's within sight for him. It's a life that now is on the horizon. He knows that what he has to do is take out Makima. He understands that. He understands exactly the threat that she is, and as well as what's waiting for him if he's able to accomplish that. Like, he sees all these girls on TV that really like him, and he's completely just enamored by it. He's super, super mesmerized by the fact that, all these women want him. And it's looking good for him. Like, Denji definitely deserves a happy ending. He deserves just things to kind of pan out and live in a very, whether it's extravagance or even just comfort. Like, he says that he's eating toast and jam. He's gotten tired of it. He wants to eat like steak. He wants to live on the higher side, even if he's experienced, something close, like not the bottom, but kind of like the average, which was still great for him. He still wants to experience more. He still wants to keep going. He wants to live his life to the fullest. So now that he's getting ready to go against Makima, and he's, I think, one of the things, again, he's motivated not just by the happiness, but, all these girls. Like, I really liked that they kept his translations very close, because I read the fan translation, and then we got the officials, and when he's talking about how he wants all these girlfriends, and he wants to have, like, tons of just big harem sex, and I was like, it had that in the fan translation, and I was like, I wonder if they're going to carry this over the original, but I was just like, it carried in, and I was like, man, Denji he's for the most part a very simple yet complicated guy, and I think these, like, chapters like this really show that, because he doesn't have to have some grand, massive plan of what he wants to do and where, what he's aiming for. It could be as simple as literally just, he wants to be popular, he wants to, eat right, and, well, not right, he wants to eat great and hook up with a lot of chicks. Like, Denji is just going for that, like, basic staple of happiness, and it's been so hard for him, and now he's got it within, it's within reach. He can achieve this. It's just right now Makima is the threat that, that prevents that. He has to learn how to take her down. And in the last chapter, I think that it really helped with Kobeni talking about how, getting something off her back, even if it's something that you're tied to, like her parents. I'm guessing Denji kind of could relate that to him. Like, even if he has an emotional tie to Makima, it doesn't mean the fact that he doesn't know that she is dangerous and she is a threat, and his life isn't really gonna ever be achieved as long as as long as she's out here, as long as she is like just active and going about her business. But the chapter read fairly fast, because for the most part, like I said, it's like Denji seeing stuff on TV, and he's him kind of just breaking down for a moment and really just looking like he's ready to grasp at any straw of a better life he can, but not at the expense of getting that dream life that he really wants. Because we know that was one of the things that he had been contracted with Pochitas. He, show him your dreams, and Denji's not gonna just sit and be completely satisfied with, the basics, even though he's grateful for getting them. Well, to a degree, as grateful as Denji can be, where it's like, thanks. It's not like he's, some hyper humble guy. It's more of just like the basic appreciation. But getting that, I think, was really big for his character. And then going into this fight, definitely really hyped to see where this goes. I like that they're at the Devil Hunter graveyard with just all of these crosses. just sticking out. Nothing complicated with it. It's just very visually appealing. And I've said before, the thing that Fujimoto I think excels at is setting up a scene. I think his ability to just lay up an environment and get you prepared, or going into a fight, is one of the best things about him. Like, look at this panel. Look at this panel of the way that they're all kind of like strolling up. And you see the one before it, like when it shows Denji on one of the crosses in almost like this kind of Spider-Man vibe to him, the way that he's very unnecessarily kind of like poised on top of one. Like that's something like you'd expect, like something like Spider-Man, where it'd be like, oh, he's on something that's like a flagpole, to where it's fully normal for him just to barely be on top of it, all crouched down with only part of his feet sticking to it, but that's all he needs. That's just something that I kind of like see when I look at Denji like that. But like I said, did note that Denji's looked slightly more powerful just based off of his arms have that armor. He's not in the full state of the Chainsaw Man. He does, like, he's his normal size, but he's got that plating, like he's got that higher end level of transformation. It's not just his his head that's transformed and then the chainsaw blades out. He's got that extended onto his arms, which again is really cool. I'm guessing that's gonna show signs that he is more powerful. But then you see Makima rolling up with a lot of her controlled slaves. Like, she's got general fodder, but also these other hybrids. And I like the exchange they had between Denji and Makima. It's like Denji's like saying how he's asking her in this world like that Makima is planning, like, would there be crappy movies? And she's first off, she's just talking to him like, why have you turned back into Denji? Because she wants a Chainsaw Man. She doesn't want Denji. She brings up how she wouldn't let there be bad movies in the world she's going for. And then Denji decides, he's like, okay, I'm gonna have to kill you after all. And I'm guessing the way that Denji is seeing it is, he probably understands you have to have good, you have to have bad to have good. Like, if every movie was really good, then nothing would be good. It'd all just be standard. There would be nothing really excelling. You need to have good stuff to have bad stuff. And I know the series aren't relatable really at all, but I think that this is a potential that could kind of relate. It's Fairy Tail Natsu Dragneel. He believes that the hardships of life are just part of the experience, and that anytime when you face tragedy and despair and anguish, what's important is you get back on your feet. You don't let the hard times completely just break you and keep you down. You just have to get up, get stronger, keep moving forward. And I think that's something that Denji holds a lot of potential of realizing too, because Denji is somebody that came from relatively nothing, and he didn't let that just bottom of life kind of experience ruin him. And he was so happy at just getting basics. And even though, again, like I mentioned earlier, even though he's happy with getting just basic things in life, he still wants more. He wants to experience more, and he wants to just kind of have the best life he has possible. And when you see stuff like finding out about his dad, like how he's the one that actually killed his dad, and the stuff that's going on with Aki and Power, I think it's really important that he can kind of gauge the stuff that he has now, the places where he's come from, and even these bad things. And instead of it just being like, give up, it's how can I move forward? How can I get better? What is stopping me from having a good life? Because even with Aki and Power, like, again, Power, like, we're gonna have a power retrieval at one point. But even with Aki, like, Denji experienced some pain, but it's not like he can't recover. It's hard. Like, it would definitely be hard, because it was somebody he actually became close to. He didn't even like at the start. But it's something that he can definitely, get back on his feet, move forward from, and learn from, and remember his friend, remember what what he learned from him, and what he the good times they had together. But the thing that's going to be really hard for Denji is the obstacle preventing him from actually fully moving forward, and what that is Makima. As long as Makima is there, we know that she is going to try and stop Denji and try and just cause him despair. Because even with the people he's lost, he can prevent more loss if he's able to stop Makima. Because Makima is the big threat right now. We don't know about future threats. Like, if we end up going into like a power retrieval arc, going into hell to find the Blood Devil, I assume that we'll see like primordial devils and stuff, and we know that the primordial devils are like the top people in the, you know, the Chainsaw Man universe. Makima's up there, Gun Devil's up there, but the, you know, the primordials are the cream of the crop kind of thing. And again, like I said, Fujimoto is great at setting up a scene, and I don't really think anybody who's read Chainsaw Man can dispute that. I really love at the end of this chapter, like when they're getting this scene set up, you have the three crows sitting on some of the crosses, and then they get up flying, and you know it's from the sound of Denji's chainsaws. And the last panel you get in this chapter is Makima and her crew, her hybrids up in the front, and then just Denji's arm with his chainsaws like revving up and starting to move. I thought that was great. Really excited to see more, and really excited just to see what's next in this arc, because I've loved Chainsaw Man. I've always really liked it. I've been following the series since chapter 1. I remember the day that I did my review for chapter 1, and I'm gonna keep following it. And you know, Fujimoto I've liked, so I'm gonna follow whatever series he makes after this. I'm still really hoping for one more arc. I would love to see an arc in Hell, and not only in the idea of obviously more Chainsaw Man. One, I really want to explore Hell because I think Fujimoto's Hell is really interesting, but also I want to see the primordial devils, both from a story and world building standpoint, but also because I think they're really cool. I love Fujimoto's monster designs, and I can't wait to see more. But other than that, though, comment below, thumbs up the video, friend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Further than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and thank you all for listening. Bye.